Welcome to my podcast where I talk about all things related to money mindset, finance, business, and investing. My name is Royston Campbell-Batch, a qualified accountant with over 30 years experience in finance and business. Coming from a very humble background, I have continuously challenged the assumptions and the expectations of what I'm capable of achieving for myself and others. Over the years, I've helped hundreds of entrepreneurs to decipher finance and to make more money and to run highly successful businesses. On this podcast, I will share with you tips, strategies, techniques, and tools that you can use to make more money, manage money better, and to maximize your success. Wow, it's 2021 and it's a new year, and the great news is that we survived it. You survived. And now it's time to reflect, it's time to think, and it's time to set new goals for the new year. So let me ask you a question. Have you set your new goals for 2021? Or are you the kind of person that don't set goals and you just, wing it? You know what I mean? And let me ask you a second question. When you reflect on the 2020, how has it been for you? Have you achieved your goals, or was it a year that you were completely impacted and eroded and you just was in survival mode like many people? And if that's you, well, I hope 2021 is going to be a much better year for you. According to statistics, 2/3 of people were really impacted, but 1/3 of people and businesses did very, very well during the pandemic. Because when you look at tech businesses, online businesses, whether it's Zoom or Google or Facebook, YouTube, obviously Google owns YouTube anyway, but they all did very well because most people were at home, and people being at home means they're online. Even like Netflix, all these companies, all the tech companies, the tech really, really rise. You know what I mean? Obviously, I trade the stock markets as well, so I can see the rise in the stock market. Of course, it fluctuates day and day, but generally there's been a rise. You know what I mean? It's a great time to be in the tech industry. Other businesses that did very, very well last year are supermarkets, and also people in the medical field, like, with the private medical companies, even cleaning companies, Many businesses did very, very well, but a lot of people were impacted. Well, the good news is it's behind us, and now we can look forward to a new year. But before we just race ahead with all of our fantastic plans, according to Warren Buffett, he's an investment guru, 85 years, probably more than that anyway. He knows a few things. He reckons that we're not going to be out of this pandemic until 2022, because if you have to inject everyone, I give everyone a vaccine, it's not, logically, or it's not logistically possible, to actually do all of this in 2021, because matter of fact, not even everyone wants the vaccine. So you have to get over the whole huddle of people wanting to take the vaccine, So it's going to be tough still, but I still think that people should have goals, and even if it means that you have to keep changing the goals every month because things are changing, have goals. Which brings me on to the topic for today, and it's all about maintaining financial discipline. First of all, having financial discipline is important, but maintaining it is even more important. You know what I mean? So what is financial discipline? Now, financial discipline refers to how well you can conform to your financial plans that you have set to achieve your monetary goals. But it's applicable to you whether you're in business or in your personal life, And for me, this is where things like budgeting and cash flow forecasting and financial planning comes in place, you know what I mean? In terms of having an outlook for the next 2 years or 3 years or 5 years. Depending on your age, your planning might be thinking about retirement, you know what I mean? If you are young, you might be thinking about, okay, do I want to buy a house? When can I buy the house? How am I going to go about buying the house? You know what I mean? If you're in business, your plan might be, okay, do I expand? Do I pivot? Pivot means do you change your business model? What are your plans? You know what I mean? Are you planning to outsource stuff, to offshore so you can really save you money? Because in the new year, it's always time to reset the dial and just think how you're going to do things differently in a more innovative manner. But more importantly, you want to set plans, and you want to really stick to those plans, or adjust to those plans, or basically measure yourself against those plans. And all that requires discipline. I think discipline is the mother of success. And if you're talking about financial success and achieving your financial goals, I think it's very, very important to be disciplined. Do you agree with that, or do you not agree with that? Do you think you should just go about things, ad hoc and see what happens? Or are you a person who really believes in structure, in having a budget, and, looking at the actuals versus the plans, you know what I mean? For me, as an accountant, as a finance expert, I think that is so crucial to building your wealth. As I said, even in uncertain times, you can really, really and truly make the difference between not achieving anything or achieving something. You know what I mean? So let me give you 5 or 6 things that I think can really help you, number one, to build your wealth, but also to help you to be maintaining more financial discipline. Number one, I think you should set a plan. Whether it's your top 3 things you want to achieve this year, whether it's save 10% of your income, whether if you're in business, you want to reduce your expenses, ratio, that's your ratio of expenses to revenue. You want to cut back on cost. You want to make more profits. You want to build up your cash reserves some more. Whatever your financial goals, set some goals. Have a budget. And a budget is just basically just projecting into the future how much money you want to make, how much money you want to save, Obviously, in between there's obviously more money you spend, you know what I mean? I always say to people, it's not how much money you make that matters, how much money you keep that matters. That is what's going to really help you to build your wealth. And obviously, when you keep that money, you invest that money into assets. Overall and long term, those assets can really work for you and create income for you. Number 2, I would say, is stay focused on the financial goals. Now, how do you stay focused on your financial goals? Now, you need to be reviewing those goals. You need to be measuring. Because if you set goals and you're not tracking yourself against those goals, now how do you measure? That's why you need to know your numbers. We call it financial intelligence. You know what I mean? Financial intelligence is understanding numbers behind your business. So how do you stay focused on your financial goals? Is that you keep reviewing, how you're progressing against those goals and making adjustments where required. You know what I mean? Again, that requires financial discipline, because many people in business don't see the need to have like a budget or even to track actuals against plans, and that eventually lead to business failure. Apparently, most businesses fail due to inadequate financial planning. And I believe that also applies to individuals who go in bankrupt, etc. Number 3, probably number 4, I think I'm on now. I would say keep up with all your financial payments. Yeah, that is so important, And I want to go back to my granny principle of managing money. My granny said, "Don't hang your hat where your hand can reach." That just simply means that if you want to afford something, whether in business or whether in personal life, just check, can I afford to pay this back? You know what I mean? Based on my revenue, based on my income streams, can I meet these payments? And of course, failure to meet payments critically can impact your credit rating, and it can impact how much you can even borrow in the future. So I think it's very important that you be able to keep up with your financial payments. As a matter of fact, although borrowing is important, and I've covered this in previous episodes of my podcast, the importance of debt to build wealth, but I would say it's very, very important, that you know how you're going to service that debt. That impact your credit rating. And if anyone like me who is work in financial services, either as an employee or as a freelance consultant, they check your credit rating, And even if in business as well, many businesses wouldn't give you a line of credit if you have a bad credit rating, and there's ways to check your credit rating, you know what I mean? So they even ask you for references. So keeping up your payments is very, very important. And next thing I would say is that if you're using credit cards, which I do recommend that you use anyway, it's very good for tracking your expenditure. You do pay off the whole credit card, the whole amount at the end of the month when they bill you, you know what I mean? Look, credit cards is a massive way of leveraging money, using money on credit to build wealth, to cover your expenses, even to invest as well. You can use credit cards, and I've covered such things already before. And there's ways even to increase your lines of credit. And if you want to know more about that, you can reach out to me. I can help you with that. If you want to have a better credit rating, you want to know how to get more credit, how to raise credit, how to even raise funds to grow your business. I'm not covering that today, but I've got a lot of contacts, I've got a lot of skills, I've got a lot of knowledge, and I can help you with that. But I think it's very important that you not just pay your bills on time. When you have a credit card, and you pay back the full amount at the end of the month. You know what I mean? Next, I would say justify your expenditure. look at, your must versus your should, or look at, what I say, your wants versus your need. And to me, that is based on controlling your emotions. To me, wealth creation and building wealth closely related to you controlling your emotions, making more logical decisions rather than irrational decisions, That's for me financial discipline, yeah? And more importantly, I think that's probably number 5 or 6 now. You want to increase your financial literacy, increase your financial intelligence. You want to read stuff. You want to understand the stock markets. You want to understand how does money work, how does interest rate work, how does inflation work. Look, we all impacted by this daily. How does digital currency works? Because these are some of the things so you know where to put your money. Where should you invest most? Where should you save most? The part of financial discipline is knowing where to put your money and to make decisions, as I said, based on information, so you don't lose money. If I go back to Warren Buffett and investing, there's only 2 rules. Rule number 1, don't lose money. And rule number 2, don't forget rule number 1. So these are some of the things that you can do in financial discipline. Look, human emotions travel faster in the brain, rather than rational thoughts. The first thing that happens, when something doesn't go right is that your emotion kicks in. Whether it's fear, whether it's stress, whether it's anxiety, that kicks in, and then you can't think clearly. But in order to maintain financial discipline and think clearly, you want to really remain kind of calm. You know what I mean? It's easier said than done. And there are a few techniques that you can use to remain calm. Lessons like meditation, whether it's things like, yoga, whatever it is, exercising, these are all things that you can use. Financial success is truly an issue of mind over money. You know what I mean? Hence, we need financial discipline and plans to make more rational decisions. I hope this helped you. It's a short podcast and I plan to do more often. So hence, I'm keeping it short and brief. Until next time, take care. Thank you very much for listening to my podcast. I hope you enjoyed the show. You can find out more about me by Googling my name, Royston Cumberbatch. I'm on all the social media, Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn. You can find me on YouTube as Roy Cumberbatch. And if you are listening on YouTube, please hit that subscribe button. Or you can find me on my website at www.racmacs.com. That's RACMACS.com. It'd be great to hear from you. And do feel free to tell me about any topics you want me to cover on future episodes. Until next time, be good to yourself and others. Keep positive and reaching for your financial goals. Bye-bye.